cover?
You married
Yeah.
Craig.
We want to say a huge thank you for everybody for yesterday. Everybody rode really well. Everybody did the drop system great. We didn't lose anybody that I'm aware of. Yeah, maybe they're still up there, but they're having a good time, I'm sure. But thank you for everything you've done so far, and thank you so much for bringing desserts to the dinner. The dinner went really well, we felt, and had a lot of good participation, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Misty. Fantastic. So, for those who weren't here yesterday, I'm Eric Andrus. My lovely wife Misty, we're the ride leaders. We'll be leading this pack today. Jerry is our tail gunner today with his lovely wife Terry. So whatever happens, make sure that he's always behind you. Don't ever get behind him. Yesterday we went up that mountain, that face. Today we're going to go around the temple, up here on these foothills, and this little hill here, we're going to go up it. We're going to go along the ridge top. We go over a couple of ridges. Beautiful country up there. We'll go back in a few miles, and we're going to drop back down into the canyon. It's a fun little drop down into that. Nothing too bad. We're going to go up the canyon a bit, and we're going to go see if we can go visit the Nilsson cabin. After we leave there, we're going to climb up the mountain, get up the skyline. We're going to go north a little bit, and then down east, down a big old canyon for quite a few miles east. We're going to turn back up to the north, and there's a little place called Grassy Lake. That's where we're going to stop and have lunch. We'll leave there. We'll kind of wind our way back up the mountain and get up on top and go see what we call the horseshoes. So it should be a good ride. Any questions from anybody? Yes.
Yes, I have a question. Since I'm the ride chairman, I want to give thanks to Eric and Missy and Barry and Jerry. Is there something with all their names? But I want to thank them for the ride. You know, it's absolutely beautiful, and as you can see, there's a lot of people who want to see what's up there. And then we want to thank Missy, not Eric, for the dinner last night.
She's right behind you there if you want to grab her.
She did a wonderful job. They might sneak on us today, but I want to thank them for everything they do. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bruce. We've asked Lynn to give us a prayer. If you'll do so.